Shakur Stevenson has thought that a fight between himself and Gervonta Davis is one of the biggest fights in the sport, and he's sent a fighter offer to Davis. The tension between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson has been building for years now, and neither of them seems to be too fond of each other. Gervonta has even called Shakur out for being two-faced. Davis stated, "He throws shots, then wants to be buddy-buddy, saying all this stuff on Twitter, then running into my locker room and wanting to take a picture and all that type of stuff. He's got to stand on that. We ain't cool no more. That's why I'm in this mode. I ain't got no friends in this. Don't go on the internet saying I wouldn't dare step in the ring with you. That's disrespectful." Shakur doesn't care about that though, and he thinks that this could potentially be one of the biggest fights out there. Shakur stated, "I would love that fight. I think that's the biggest and best fight in the sport of boxing. You've got special fighters that come around. You got like a Michael Jordan that came around in his era. Then you got a LeBron James that came around in his era. But they weren't in the same era, so we never got to see them go against each other. With me and Tank, you've got two special fighters that have been special our whole careers and our whole lives. When it comes down to it, it's gonna be the biggest and best fight in boxing. The people who really know boxing are going to tell you that's the big fight, and I agree with them. I think that that's the biggest fight." Mikey Garcia definitely thinks that Davis would come out on top. Mikey stated, "Oh, 135? I'd probably pick Tank just because of that power. Shakur can box and be very elusive and tricky, but so can Tank. Plus, he's got that power where one punch is all it takes, so I'd probably still pick Tank." Sean Porter seems to agree with Shakur though, and he believes that this is the best match in boxing. Sean stated, "When I look at the way both fighters box, I think it's a match made in heaven. It's the best fight in boxing to be made, and I think it will happen next year. There's a specific recipe required, I believe, to beat Tank, and I honestly believe that Shakur has the gifts, the talent, the athleticism, everything within that recipe." When Bob Arum was asked about a fight being set up, he mentioned that the fight had to make sense and he wasn't too sure at the time. Bob stated, "If promoters continuously lose money on fights, there won't be promoters anymore. So Al Haman of PBC has to be careful. DAZN with Eddie Hearn has to be careful. We have to be careful. You can't extend yourself in a way where you're going to take a major hit to do a fight that's really an appealing fight. It's not a question of being ready to do Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight. We're not gamblers. We'll take risks, but we're not gamblers. To put up tremendous guarantees for that fight to make a couple of dollars if you're lucky, and probably to lose considerable money, why do it? I'd rather buy a ticket and go watch the fight." Bob thinks that that fight only ends in one way though. Bob stated that Davis versus Stevenson is a really interesting fight, but it only ends in one way, and that's with Shakur winning. Calvin Ford thinks that Shakur's act is just that, and he thinks that Shakur should reevaluate his chances against someone like Gervonta.
The only person I can really give salute to is Shakur because he grew up with us. That's why I get on Shakur. Sometimes he changes his media, try to be that tough guy, big dad. Let's keep it real. We grew up together. Me and your grandfather, we cool, you know what I'm saying? But pure box, you know what I'm saying? They know Tank is different. You notice they don't say nothing like, you know what I'm saying? If you that dude, you're gonna go, you know what I'm saying? They don't do that with Tank. They know Tank don't play like that. My mom told me, if it's beef, you know when it's beef with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we carry it like that. But we try to stay humble. This is a sport. But guys start to run their mouth and forget who they talking to.
Olympic medalist Nate Jones really thinks that Shakur has a better chance of becoming the next Floyd Mayweather over Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. Nate stated, "In my personal experience, I think Shakur Stevenson is better than Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson may be better than Tank Davis. Stevenson has a better chance of becoming the next Floyd Mayweather or to come close to what Floyd accomplished." Terrence Crawford, on the other hand, gave his simple prediction, and he seems to agree with Bob. Terrence stated, "Shakur, hands down." Adrian Broner thinks that Shakur will be Gervonta's biggest challenge, but he still thinks that Tank will come out on top. Adrian stated, "I think Tank has got what it takes to beat them all, that Stevenson will be his toughest match, but I still think Tank would pull it off. I think Tank would find a way to pull it off, even though Shakur is one of the baddest fighters out there. His talent is different. I've seen it firsthand. It's different. It's some different going on with that kid. He's amazing, and I still feel like Tank will pull it off. Most people don't think that you should overlook Gervonta's power, and they still think that the best Davis is yet to come.
Shakur Stevenson. Shakur might have better defense, but at the end of the day, I still think we haven't seen the best Tank Davis. That's what people always power. We still haven't seen the best Tank Davis. And Shakur, for the most part, he comes forward. Mm-hmm. Tank Davis, he takes his one shot. Mm-hmm. He's a very patient fighter. He doesn't throw a lot of shots, but every shot he throws, he makes them count.
Claressa Shields gave her opinion on the two fighters when she tried to give her opinion on who is the best fighter out there. Claressa stated, "As much love as I have for Devin Haney, the truth is this: I don't think anybody can beat Shakur Stevenson. Not Gervonta Davis, not Devin, not Ryan Garcia, not anybody. That's just me being completely honest. But all those guys are excellent fighters. They're great. They've got power. But Shakur is like a male Claressa Shields, so he's not going to get beat. That's me being honest." At one point, Gervonta talked about how he beat Shakur when they sparred some years ago, and Shakur definitely wanted to expose Davis and his lies. Shakur stated, "Even with the sparring, this dude is a liar. What did you ever do to me in sparring? He may have landed a good shot, but he never hurt me, never buzzed me. I landed good shots on him too. I'm confused talking about how he cracked me. He feels like he's something that he's not, and to the world he looks like a killer. I can't wait. I'm going to expose him. I'll be the person who he won't be able to knock out or hurt. He'll have to go 12 rounds with someone who's beating him. He's not going to like that. That will mess with his head." Gervonta doesn't seem too impressed by Shakur though.
Some of your 135 contemporaries have a lot to say these days. Shakur Stevenson, well, of course he's now 135 after all that stuff, and then Devin Haney.
Right, so why people even talk like he the best at, he didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126, 30 or none of that.
He is good.
Okay. How can you, all that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you going to get hit. What you gonna do when you get hit?
Calvin Ford really didn't think that Gervonta was going to be going against Shakur next, but he knows that they have to be ready for anything. Calvin stated, "If you look at the numbers they're putting out, it doesn't make sense. Once they understand the business, you can't go in there asking for a whole bunch of money. Shakur got offered some money from Devin Haney. Do you see the way he turned it down? Tank isn't taking a pay cut. I wouldn't say it's his biggest fight, Shakur. His biggest fight is every fight. Y'all see that. It's just another fight we got to look at. It's going to happen one day. We just have to be prepared for it when it happens." Well, according to Shakur, he sent Gervonta a fight offer, and he thinks that both fighters are going to be ready to do this. Shakur stated, "There's only one fight. Me and Tank is going to be the biggest boxing fight in the world when it happens. I can see it happening not too far in the future. I think Tank will sign that contract, and I'm gonna sign the contract too." If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.